Hi class! So I wanted to show you how to format your essays according to MLA format. Little Fires Everywhere, your first essay, your first formal essay, will need to be formatted according to MLA format. So I'm going to show you a couple ways to do that. Also, hi! I hope you are all doing well. And like I said in my announcement, finding a healthy balance between inundating yourselves with information about COVID-19 and also being informed about COVID-19. So I hope you are all doing well, and I hate that this semester is ending in this way, but I'm excited that it's not a total loss, that I still get to at least communicate with you all. So when you open up Microsoft Word, this is how it will look. You can go to New or go to Open. Let's go to New. And you can either choose a blank document or you can choose from a set of online templates. Let's look for the online templates. In this search box, you will put your cursor here, then type MLA, and you can push enter or click on the magnifying glass. And it will bring you two different options for MLA format. Now here's the thing to remember about these templates. You need to follow the template exactly. You need to follow the template exactly. Because if you change a few things, it'll end up changing more things that might mess up the essay. And formatting is a large part, especially of what you'll do in English 112 when you move on. So let's take a look at the first one, MLA style paper. So if you've written a paper or if you've seen a little bit about MLA format, you know that this is pretty standard, really. You have your last name, page number, your name, my name, English 111 D08, and then the date. Now the date is written in the European format with the actual date first, the month in the middle, and then the full year at the end. So let's do a little bit of that here. You're going to double click at the top of the page and it's going to bring you up your header and footer tools. Now this is what this group of options are here, and you'll see header and footer are underlined. So I'm going to change the last name. Click it just like that. Type your last name. Don't type my last name. Type your last name. Close header and footer. And every page after that will have the appropriate page number. You will just need to enter your name on that second page, and the subsequent pages will have your last name. So you have your last name and your page number already there. Notice that I didn't mess with the page number at all. I highlighted your name and then typed my last name. So for your name, this is your actual name. So I'm going to put my name. Instructor name, that's where you would put your name, or my name. Course number, this is English 111, D08. And then the date would be, the date of the paper is fine to put here, 1 April 2020. Now depending on which option you choose for your essay, that's what you're going to want to title it and subtitle it. So let's say I'm going to talk about option number 3, which is the thematic elements of Little Fires Everywhere. I might call it Okay, so if I were writing this essay, and I was focusing on the thematic elements, I would absolutely want to highlight the relationship between mothers and daughters. So I might title it Mothers and Daughters, the fight for power and sexual freedom in Little Fires Everywhere. Notice that Little Fires Everywhere is italicized. Wherever you use the novel, it needs to be italicized. Anywhere that you use the novel, it needs to be italicized. Not underlined, not in bold, just italicized. Now notice the title is double spaced evenly, just like the rest of the essay. It is in 12-point font, just like the rest of the essay. It is not underlined. It is not in bold. It is not size 18. It looks exactly like the rest of the essay. Now, when you start your essay, of course, you're going to want to indent that initial paragraph. So this is all being highlighted because it's recognizing that it's a template and that I need to erase most of it. But I would like for it not to be highlighted right now. So when you start your essay, here's what I want you to focus on. What contextual evidence do you want to reveal to the reader about your opinion of Little Fires Everywhere? Remember that this is your essay. We talked a lot in class about providing contextual information before the thesis statement, letting your reader know where you want to go with this essay. Think of this introductory paragraph as a roadmap. It doesn't show you the destination, but it does show you where you need to go to get there. So for this particular topic, and I'm going to delete all this because I don't need it. It's a lot to delete. Oh man, this keeps going. Okay, so it's already indented, right? Just one tab over. Perfect. It's already indented, so I can begin writing now. In the first paragraph, you want to mention the author, you want to mention the title, and you want to mention the thesis. Everything else that you mention besides the title, the author, and the thesis is contextual information to give the reader some insight about your personal opinion of the novel. So it might look something like this. Now this is just off the top of my head on a Sunday night after being quarantined for a long time. So yours will be much more brilliant, as I always say. See? It's the startling unveiling Okay, so let's read this. Celeste Ng's Little Fires Everywhere highlights the bias of wealthy neighborhoods and planned communities against the working class and minorities. That is a basic, very general, very broad, overall interpretation. My interpretation, it may not be your interpretation, my interpretation of Celeste Ng's overall umbrella point of Little Fires Everywhere. Beyond its revelation of inequities between those who have and those who lack, is the startling unveiling of the tumultuous and toxic relationships that exist beneath the guise of extravagance. So underneath the money, underneath the power, underneath the excess and the access to things, Celeste Ng highlights, well, much like working class or middle class Americans, the wealthy also experience very difficult and challenging relationships in their own lives. Relationships that are especially highlighted are those between mothers and daughters, namely between Mrs. Richardson and Izzy and Pearl and Mia. So that's the context. Remember, I started off with something very broad. I made it a little more narrow. And then finally, I get to the main idea of what I'm going to discuss in this particular essay. Now let's work on the thesis. Okay, so let me scroll down a little bit so you can see that. Let me highlight this because this is my thesis statement. Italicize this. Where is it? Miss Richardson. Oh, there it is. Ng's use. Okay. So this is my thesis. Ng's use of objective narration and raw focus of the challenges of living vicariously through children makes Little Fires Everywhere the quintessential story of manipulative, overbearing mothers and ungrateful and rebellious daughters. Now notice I don't mention BB. I don't mention adoption. I don't mention race because your essay, this essay, is only 3 to 5 pages. So you have to decide on a particular focus. You have to narrow that down and you stick to that. Now, could I talk about BB? Maybe, but BB doesn't really have to do with a story of manipulation and overbearing motherhood. And as the child is still an infant, we don't really see ungratefulness and rebelliousness yet with the daughter. So remember that when you choose your thesis, you are choosing a narrowed down focus of your essay, and you're going to want to stick to that focus because your thesis is basically your promise to the reader that you're going to discuss what you planned or what you said you were going to discuss in your thesis statement. Now I'm running out of time a little bit with this first example of how to do MLA format. So I'm going to pause here and then pick it back up and show you how to use Google Docs for MLA format. It's very simple, it's very easy, but I just don't want to run out of time. So if you have any questions about this particular video, let me know. See you in a second.